Changing a U-joint is one of those things that feels impossible until you've done it once. Then it becomes one of those DIY victories you'll brag about to your friends who still call the mechanic for everything. First, let's address why you'd even need to change one. If your drivetrain feels like it's vibrating more than your old iPhone on vibrate mode, or you hear a clunking sound when shifting gears, that's your U-joint begging for retirement. Here's the good news. You don't need to be some master mechanic with a $10,000 toolbox. The basic tools you'll need are a socket set, a hammer, a jack, and a U-joint press, or a bench vise if you're feeling creative. Step 1. Park your vehicle on a flat surface. Safety first. Chalk the wheels, and if you're crawling under the car like an overconfident yoga enthusiast, make sure you've got jack stands, not just a jack. Pro tip, cracking a rib isn't worth saving time. Next, find your drive shaft. It's the cylindrical metal thing running from the transmission to the differential. Unscrew the bolts holding the drive shaft in place. This is where an impact wrench can make your life way easier, especially if the bolts are rusted on, which they probably are. With the drive shaft out, you'll see the U-joints at each end. This is where the magic or frustration happens. Look for the retaining clips that hold the joint in place. Depending on your luck, these clips might pop out like they're spring-loaded, or you might be prying them like you're trying to open a paint can. Now that the clips are off, it's time to remove the old joint. If you've got a U-joint press, this part is smooth sailing. If not, you'll be hammering the caps out of the yoke. This is where patience and a good pair of gloves become your best friends. Installing the new U-joint is essentially the process in reverse. Line it up, press or hammer the new caps into place, and reinstall the clips. Pro tip, grease the new U-joint liberally. Skipping this step is like skipping sunscreen at the beach. Your regrets will show up later. Before reinstalling the drive shaft, check the balance. A poorly seated U-joint can cause even nastier vibrations than the ones you started with. Spin the joint around, making sure it moves freely but isn't loose. Now bolt the drive shaft back into place, being careful to torque the bolts to spec. If you over-tighten them, you'll strip the threads. Under-tighten, and you'll risk the drive shaft coming loose at 70 miles per hour. Not ideal. The final step is to test drive the vehicle. Go for a spin on a quiet road and listen for any unusual noises. No clunks, no rattles. Congratulations, you're officially a U-joint expert, and you saved hundreds of dollars doing it yourself. Changing a U-joint isn't glamorous, but it's satisfying. Plus, now you've got a great story for the next time someone complains about their car. It's a combination of precision, patience, and overcoming rusty bolts. And honestly, aren't those the best kinds of victories?